and we get that mic off, please. Thank you. Committee members, you had the documentation for a couple of days. The documentation in front of you is sufficient to make an informed decision. You had input from the professionals, you had input from I think ratepayers, and you also had input from the applicant planning studio, DNS Planning and Studio. After that input, are you ready to make a decision? Councillor Moodley.
Yes, Chair, we're ready to make a decision. I'm ready to make a decision. Dismiss the appeal. Councillor Moodley will dismiss the appeal and support the recommendation by the sub-council on page 281 with the conditions on annexure page 284.
Thank you. Councillor Boyd.
Councillor Boyd, dismiss the appeal, Chair.
And also with
the conditions and the recommendations from 281 of the sub-council.
And the conditions 284.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Mahango.
Councillor Mahango, dismiss the appeal with the conditions and recommendations on page 281 to 284.
Thank you. Councillor Ndongeni.
Councillor Ndongeni, dismiss the appeal with the recommendation on page 281.
Thank you. Councillor Bazir.
Chair, previously you said we can add another condition. Now in my, I also want to dismiss the appeal. Councillor Bazir, with a condition and in line with what the ward councillor have said and in line with the water level 5.
Okay, that will be noted.
Okay.
Thank you, Councillor Bazir. Councillor Hendricks.
Councillor Hendricks dismissed the appeal and supporting the recommendations of the sub-council and the views expressed by the previous Councillor Bashir with regard to the representation by the ward councillor, but I don't agree that there should be no swimming pool.
Thank you. Those two remarks will be noted. The decision then is unanimous to dismiss the appeal. As per sub-council on page 281 and with the conditions on page 284, that is unanimous. And then with the two remarks of Councillor Bazir for noting and from Councillor Hendricks for noting. Thank you very much.
Die shed wat is mysterie meters. Hulle ook hulle kan tot aan 3
I'm not so sure if we can prescribe to a developer the decoration or the size of the swimming pool. Just keep that in mind. Do a bit of homework on that. I don't think we can do that prescription. And then also the councillor who's been here is with us, custodian of council policies. He done a very good presentation. He was all over to keep his people. But then the swimming pool story, I think the shallow water is swimming. And then also
It must continue raining.
Yeah,
For
After
them, it
2
must
years,
continue
yeah.
raining.
yeah, okay, thank you.
In 40 jaar tyd is daar genoeg reën.
I don't know the experts here. Can we prescribe the size of a swimming pool? No. No. Okay, thank you. Let's go on to item 8. Councillors, item 8 is on our page 481. And that is the appeal against the condition of approval which relates to the registration of a servitude of a portion of a building block of flats. And the official is going to take us through this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The appeal by the applicant is against the condition imposed by the sub-council relating to the first floor concrete slab at the northeast corner of the property, which is a structural element, and it is proposed to be non-habitable. The sub-council condition reads as follows. An area 4.5 meters by 4.5 meters in the northeast corner of the first floor of the property, as shown on drawing 201 of the report, shall not be used as habitable space or outdoor space, and a servitude to this effect shall be registered over the property in favour of the owner of Earth 1295. And the appeal is in relation to the requirement that the sub-council added that should be a servitude that should be protected by way of a servitude in favour of an abutting property. The applicant states that the concrete slab is not going to be habitable, and that if it was habitable it would trigger another departure anyway. It's a structural element, and that most of the slab area is a metal grill and cannot be used as a habitable space. I don't know if you want to have a look at the folio pages, but the site development plan is on 506, which shows the area. I think there is an interview on this one, as far as I can recall.
Okay, thank you. Can we look at page 484 on the top there? Is that the issue we are looking at?
484, no, it's for what I can recall.
An area, you've read that?
Yes.
Just on another page.
There's no 484.
No, 506 is the site development plan.
And 484, the top
Page 484.
paragraph.
Oh yes, sorry, I do apologise. I thought you were talking about a drawing. Yes, that's correct. The actual wording, that is the wording of the condition that the department recommended. The actual condition that the sub-council imposed is greater than that and includes reference to a servitude area.
Yeah. So the professionals, as recommended to the sub-council, as per this paragraph, but the sub-council felt in their wisdom there should be a servitude.
Servitude, that's right. The sub-council added that in. From what I can read in the documentation, is that was actually discussed at the meeting, and that there was agreement at the meeting that servitude will be put in. However, after the meeting, other owners in the sectional title block disagreed with that, and so now the applicant is saying they don't want that servitude put in. That's how I understand it.
Okay, thank you, but we're going to listen to their reasons now.
What kind
Is
of
that in order? Can we get the interview in, or is there any questions? Thank you. Yeah, Councillor Basir.
Point of clarity, Chairperson. Now, I wanted to check what my understanding of a servitude versus this one now.
The prescriptions of the servitude. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
What do they want? Why do they want the servitude?
Yes.
They want it to be declared. Can you get that clarity, please?
Mr. Chair, if a servitude is registered, it will go into the title deed. So effectively, there will be a provision that actually, by law, in terms of other legislation, it will be a stronger provision to make sure that right is imposed, that area can't be habitable. So that's what they're proposing. They're proposing that something goes into the title deed, servitude in favour of the the objector's property effectively. I don't know
And
if
it
Richard
will
wants to add
affect the value.
I don't know if it will affect the value,
Yeah.
but the feeling, what the appeal is saying is that if it was habitable, that would be another application anyway, because then that concrete slab, it's a small little concrete slab on the corner of the property that's already there. And if that was to be habitable, there'd be a setback departure anyway, which hasn't been applied for. So there's already existing legislation that protects it.
Yeah, okay. Existing legislation already there to protect it.
The DMS.
But on top of that,
They're
okay.
wanting the title.
Okay, Councillor Hendrik?
That small slab that is the bone of contention, and the worry is that the applicant may then in the quiet use that. But surely later on, if the applicant wants to use it, they can apply and it will be considered on its merit. So why must that influence a servitude? I would like the planning department to give their take on that.
I can't comment on exactly why the sub-council has imposed the servitude. All I can say is the structure's there. There's a metal grill, and then this little concrete slab is sort of sandwiched between the metal grill and the boundary wall. The chance that piece of slab is going to be habitable, it's there already. It doesn't look like it's a habitable area. It seemed unreasonable, I don't want to make a comment on it, but to add a servitude, I think that
Just
the
legitimize
servitude is
it.
a 4.5 metre by 4.5 metre, which is bigger than the slab. So the servitude requirement relates to an area larger than the slab, which you'll see in the appeal. They also say they've gone broad. So I think the intention is to try and make sure that nothing in that area would ever be habitable, including the metal grill. And whether someone's going to walk across the metal grill and have a braai or something, it just does seem rather strange.
Okay.
But
Sorry,
that's-
Mr. Speaker, follow-up. Is that not too harsh?
It's not to
A
answer.
servitude, sorry, I don't understand. Is it too harsh to have a servitude?
To make a servitude on that little piece of concrete
Yes, I
slab?
agree.
Well, that's the subject of the appeal.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
and
Now,
they,
thank you.
Agree with that. I can point out to the committee, it is on page 491 up to page 492. I think it's 6 bullet points. And Mr. Tommy Brunner is here. He's going to watch it.
Mr. Chairperson, I received an indication from Mr. Tommy Brunner's office that the committee can proceed and they will not attend.
So they're not coming for an interview. Committee members, there's nobody here for an interview. And I think the last member of the committee has put his finger on the dot, and that is, are we over-regulating? And if we're going to allow a servitude, and as the professional said to us, there's another process to apply for a servitude. And so if we can talk to the merits, are we ready to decide on this issue? Mr. Tommy Brunner is on page 490, and his reasons are on page 491. You say, and he indicated he want to come, so I'm going to step on now, and we're going to give it. Do you have a letter?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That is not coming to us. There will be no appeal afterwards. Okay. Are we ready to decide on this, Councillor Moodley?
Councillor Moodley, yes, to uphold the appeal and support the recommendations of the officials and dismiss the conditions set by the sub-council in terms of servitude.
The officials on page.
Used for 4, as recommended by the 4. I want to refer to that last chair, 484.
484.
In terms of the,
Yeah.
in area 4.4.
Yeah.
And want to motivate that we need to dismiss the conditions set by the sub-council in terms of the servitude.
That's all we say.
Yeah.
We say we dismiss the appeal and
Uphold the appeal.
uphold the appeal, sorry, and dismiss the servitude as proposed by that condition. Do we all understand? That was Councillor Moodley's input. Councillor Boyd.
Councillor Boy uphold the appeal and dismiss the conditions as set out by the sub-council in relation to the servitude. Thanks.
Councillor Mahanga.